There's nothing wrong with reverse, first of all. Sometimes reverse is the greatest blessing. I see being stuck in neutral is more of a threat than anything. And what puts you in neutral is just indecision. I believe that indecision is a decision. It's something I struggle with every day. And I don't think the indecision or being stuck in neutral is really about not wanting to do anything. I think as creatives and entrepreneurs, you can get stuck in perfectionism that keeps you from moving because you don't want to make a mistake. So I would say if you feel like you're slowing down or you think you're doing everything that you could be doing, but you're kind of stuck, if you take a step back and really evaluate where you are, 9 times out of 10, you're not making some really crucial decisions because you're afraid to make a mistake. That's why I say reverse isn't as much of a threat. If I make a mistake, the worst that could happen is that I have to take a step back and get smarter, but at least I'm moving.
Fear of failure can be the failure itself.
I'm Maya Smith, co-founder of the Doux,
I'm Brian Smith, co-founder of the Doux.
and you're listening to Dreams and Drives.
Hey, Dream Drivers. Today in the guest chair, we have Maya and Brian Smith, the founders of the Doux, a Black and veteran-owned hair care brand. I am super excited for you all to hear from both Maya and Brian and learn about how they were able to put their dreams into drive and build the Doux from the ground up. Maya and Brian love talking about navigating the realms of matrimony, parenthood, entrepreneurship, and creativity, right? How do you mix all these things and make the dream work? A little bit more about Maya. She is a licensed cosmetologist with over 3 decades of expertise, and she leads the charge as the CEO. She has a passion for simplifying beauty routines and has spearheaded the development of simple yet highly effective multifunctional formulas. I can attest to the power of these products. I personally use the Mousse texture foam, and let me tell you, my twist out was phenomenal, on point, hydrated, defined, definition, curls. 2 weeks, right, before I washed it out and did something else, and I just loved the results. Brian is the COO, and he's responsible for all things form and function. And you can find the brand everywhere. You can find them at Walmart, where they're part of their Black and Unlimited program. You can also find them at Target, Sally Beauty, Cosmoprof, CVS, Walgreens, HEB, and Amazon. All right, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you're also following us on social media across the board. I can't wait to hear how much you guys enjoy this episode. Let's get to it. Hi, Maya and Brian. Welcome to Dreams and Drive. I'm super excited to have you guys on today's show.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, we're super excited to be here.
So where in the world are you guys right now? I'm in Jersey. Where are you guys?
We're in Atlanta.
Okay, ATL. I love it.
Hell yeah.
All right. So I love to start interviews kind of going on like, let's go on a little road trip, right? This is a Dreams and Drive journey we're going on, but let's take a road trip back to the past. I want to go to the young Maya, young Brian. I'm assuming you guys may not have known each other as children. I know you knew each other in high school, right? But
Yeah.
as children, let's go to you, Maya, first. What was inspiring you as a kid?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, ish, 80s and 90s. And my mother's friends were also her hairstylists, and they were working on the set. I'm originally from LA. So they were working on the set of In Living Color and,
Wow.
working with a lot of, Black Hollywood celebrities. It was that really cool time in the 90s where there was a lot of trending, hair care statements being made. So I grew up sweeping hair in a salon. A good friend of my mom's really embraced me and saw some talent there. And I started off just as a receptionist, sweeping up hair and answering phones. So my background really starts before I even became a licensed hairstylist. I started in service. Really that as a kid, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be a hairstylist. I thought it would just be like a side hustle when I went to college. But I got my cosmetology license when I was still in high school. So by the time I started my senior year, I was already fully licensed and spending half the day working in the salon. So I just ended up being a lot better at it than I thought I would be. And I really loved working. I love the service element of working with people with textured hair, really transforming not only the way that we look, right, but really, really helping people see themselves differently, see what I saw in them. And I really like the transformation of someone coming into the salon and how they felt when they left. So I just stuck with it, and it literally has been my life's work.
Wow. So you started from day one, started from the bottom, right? Like
From
this
the
has
bottom.
been this has been part of your DNA. And then you, Brian, right? Were you in the salon or were you somewhere else as a kid?
No, I was in the salon. I was there. Like you said, Maya and I are high school sweethearts. So I was there when she was on this journey when it started from the very beginning. And I've got to see her grow in all the ways that she's grown, and boy has she's grown.
He's grown up a lot too.
Yeah. Right.
But
My background is a military background, and
okay.
I did 13 years in the United States Air Force, and another 7 years working for the federal government. And that's where my expertise in logistics has come into play. We've owned the salon together, and that's when I come into the play is us opening two salons together.
Okay. So, as I was doing some researching both of you, I was like, is this a love story or is this a beauty story? Right. And I say that because it just seems like you both have just that this partnership has just been so strong in both areas. Right. But let's take it back. We're on this road trip. So we're pulling out of childhood. You guys are married. You're in the military overseas. Talk to me a little bit about what you were experiencing over there and, you know, were you fulfilled, right, in those early years of the military, and kind of what was percolating in your head during that time?
Well, really, when we got there, we realized we got to Germany. Brian was stationed at Ramstein
Yeah.
Air Force Base. And one of the first things that you'll notice, like just in the military lifestyle in military communities, is there's so much diversity.
Mm,
Every household has a mixture. Most households have a mixture of not only nationalities, but ethnicities and hair textures, right? So when you are, coming from an American household going to a foreign country, the first two things you look for, we know this as a military family, is church and a place to get your hair done. So,
right?
right. So there was just a huge gap. I wasn't even thinking of a gap in the market. I just saw a need that wasn't being met in our community. And really occupying, I've always seen the space of a hair salon as like an institution. It has been culturally for me as an American. So I wanted to create a space that really reflected the people that we were serving, that made them feel safe, that was a little bit of, our American community, our at-home feeling. I wanted people to feel at home, even if it was just for an hour at a time. So we opened a salon in Germany, and that's when we started to have all of these questions and ideas about what kind of hair care we wanted to use on our clients.
Oh, wow. And, were you at this time like, I know you were a stylist before, right? Was the
Mhm.
idea of entrepreneurship something that scared you? I think that's a big thing for people, right? When you have these ideas, was it like, can we do it? Or because you guys had each other, you're like, we could do whatever. We don't care.
Oh, a little bit of both. I think all hairstylists, whether they like it or not, are an entrepreneur from the beginning. I come from, again, I started in the 90s. So there was no Instagram, there was no social
Mm.
media. We printed out flyers and business cards and hustled in the mall. So all of the clientele that I had, the business that I had, I really earned that just with relationships. So that part of entrepreneurship didn't scare me because without knowing it so early in my career, excuse me, so early in my career, I was doing it without really thinking about it. But I think doing it collectively as a couple, it was different because I was exposing Brian to a part of my world that was really different than, his profession.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Brian, what were your thoughts about that? You like, you're probably active duty thinking about how you're gonna get your job done day to day. And here your wife is, right? She's creative. She's out here trying to do all these different things. Were you like, how did that make you feel? Or, like, was it exciting in a way to kind of have that juxtaposition to your day to day life?
I'll just say, you know, when we started this whole thing, we were just excited together. Where we saw, look, that's a really dope idea, and let's do this. And I'm like, you know what, that is a dope idea. Let's figure out how we can get it done. How we can get it done together. So we put our little money in a Nike shoebox,
Yeah.
and we like, let's just try to figure out how we can get it done, and let's get it done to the best of our ability. And it's really exciting because That's kind of like the space that she and I are always in is we're trusting, we're bouncing each ideas off of each other and trusting each other's expertise in whatever. And so we built a whole a area around ourselves of trust, and we built the company inside of that trust. So it's been a fun ride, and we found out that the ideas and the entrepreneurial spirit is just there for the both of us,
Like it was just something inside of you that just needed a little bit, like a little something to set you down the road, right?
we push each other. We push each other. Like, if she has a dope idea, I say, yeah, let's go get it. Let's go do it. And if I have a dope idea, she'd like, let's go get it. And so, when it first started off, I was just jumping in anywhere I could to make sure that this would be a success. And so, a lot of the photography and
A lot of the photography, all of the photography.
Give yourself the credit, Brian. Give yourself the credit. I want to talk about that because I think a lot of people who are listening in, right? They all have really great ideas, but it's like, where do I start? So you guys know what you wanted to create, but what were some of the core things that if you had a checklist, right? The key things that you guys had to make sure that you were implementing from the beginning in order to have success. And I mean, maybe it could be something that looking back at it now, these were the key things, but you may not have even known these were the key things as you were doing it. You know what I mean?
I think for me, just one of the pillars of who we are is really just focusing on not selling, but serving. So it was really important to us before we started the Doux as a brand to really dig into our salon service, because I've always seen the Doux as an extension of what I've been able to deliver from behind the chair. So for us, foundationally, it is connecting with the community. It's listening to the people that use these products. And we just had to happen to have that distinct advantage of being in the room and hearing these conversations and actually participating in the beauty process. So for us, the essential element, like the main ingredient for us, is being connected to the people that need us. They tell us what we want. People are talking about whether they want a twist out or what's hot with the wash and go and what's working and what's not working and what they need, what they're not seeing in the market. So for us, like the most important thing was really being in touch with who needed us, listening to them and being able to serve. Instead of just thinking about what we could gain from the market, we really wanted to dig in and be a part of participating in that hair care process with them.
Okay, so service. And then beyond,
Service.
when it came to after service, right, the actual physical making of the product, one of the biggest things that I think is so memorable about your brand is the branding itself and the creative, like the actual feeling you get when you're interacting with the product. I'm like, yo, I need to go back, get me some hoop earrings. I need to make sure I am really feeling myself when I'm, rocking the Doux. So was that purposeful and intentional on your part?
Absolutely. I think it was intentional. What is intentional, I can tell you what I do mean to convey is just that sense of nostalgia. I want you to walk away from the aisle singing. I want any of those
Like
songs
Run
that
DMC, I
right.
need
I
some
want you to
90s music.
Exactly. So any of the songs, any of the song titles you see represented, I want that song to live, rent free in your head for at least 24 hours because you saw the Doux at shelf. I want you to feel the way that you felt when you met your first love. I want you to think about, maybe I need a pair of bamboo earrings. I want you to feel the way that you felt in the salon. That Saturday vibe is really kind of what we capture. I don't think that it was really intentional from the beginning, though. I really just wanted to create a brand that looked like me. I just picked the things that I liked. Like I like bright colors. I like fruit stripe gum. I love, pop art and graffiti. And so the Doux is really kind of this amalgam of all of the things that we're genuinely interested in. I've always seen hip hop as, as art. And hair is one of the unspoken pillars of hip hop, in my opinion. It's like hair and fashion is really heavily influenced, even in pop culture now, by hip hop culture. So it really just came from me. But I love the idea. I love hearing that people are inspired and feel connected to the culture, you know, through what it is that we're doing. So it's kind of intentional and not intentional. I think authenticity is
Right.
really important to us. I wanted the brand to look like the people that created it. And I didn't want to front like we were, you know, anyone else. I know that the Doux looks nothing like anything else on the shelf. And I feel like that's our superpower.
I was gonna say that, and I think also I think that's something that a lot of people are scared to tap into, right? What would you say to that dream driver who's listening in, who's like, I don't know if I can be myself and still get, listeners, get, people to buy my product, right? I think there's a lot of people who are hesitant about tapping into that.
Brian could probably tap in. I think he is the one that's always, you know, and he's encouraged me to do me.
Mhm.
Always times I think as entrepreneurs where we get caught up worrying about what else is going on in the market, especially when you're indie, right? Because you are just, you know, putting your money in the shoebox and you see all these huge brands that have all this budget, and it can feel like a catalyst to do something different. But we've decided early in the game not to change our performance or our messaging or who we are as a brand based on what's going in the market, um,
Mhm.
we really just try to stick to who we are. And I think that's the advice I would give to anybody that's starting, that started small the way we did, and that's trying to scale or that's trying to be noticed. It is completely okay. For us, it's a demand, it's a prerequisite. Like it's completely okay to just stay, you know, to remain your own.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think what the advice that I would give people is to actually be yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your ideas,
Mhm.
and give them a chance. Give your ideas and yourself a chance. Let me be the one to decide that I don't want this at shelf. You know, you have to have confidence in yourself, and let your brand and yeah, let your brand speak to who you are, and trust that.
Yeah, I think it's just something that a lot of people are just in this mindset of a what if it doesn't work, right? I think don't focus on if it doesn't work. Just keep that mindset about it is going to work and this is how. And I think that's just something a lot of our listeners really need to take away.
And
I
really,
will let
sometimes it might not.
Right.
And that's
So
how,
what do
and
you do? What do you
it
do
not
then?
working, but the fact that some things aren't working means it's working. Like the things that don't work are still working for your good. Like you have to learn, and if you don't lose ever, you'll never learn. We've taken L's. We've you know we everybody survived COVID. Everybody has had that moment where an order didn't come in or something went, you know, against the plan. I think the things that didn't work out for us are just as valuable to us as the things that did. Everything can't go your way, and the things that didn't go our way, I feel like we learned from them.
Mhm.
And in a lot of instances, the changing of the circumstances acted as a catalyst to do our next great thing.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Fear of failure can be the failure itself.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure, for sure.
So let's go on a roller coaster ride now, right? I don't know if there's anything local to Atlanta, but we're going up. You know that first hill, right? When you're going up, you get in the roller coaster, you're going up. This is the growth. You guys are on this growth journey. Talk to me about what growth meant to you, or how did growth look like for both of you guys in this business? And then how did you react to like all these new customers, these, new partners? Like what was that like?
The growth has been crazy, first of all, and thank you to you for buying the products, and anybody who supported us along the way, and that goes all the way back to Germany, and Maya could probably say it all the way back to her styling days prior to then. But yeah, it's been one heck of a journey, and we're just getting started, really. So to watch it grow from just a couple of products in the
Tell us what it
salon.
was. Tell us that growth story. So number one was what?
So number one, we bought. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was Bonita Afro Bomb
Right.
was the
Okay.
very first product. Um, And I think we started with maybe like 5 SKUs. And it was never, for clarity, when we launched, it was never for like mass retail. We had no I just wanted products that I could use in the salon and that my clients could take home, because I had all of this stuff on the shelf and they didn't want what I was selling. They wanted what I was, and I couldn't find anything that really, I was trying to condense all these 10 products that I was using into one system so that they could do what they saw me doing in the salon. So it started off just with a few things. And then the popularity of it, getting noticed on, this is when Instagram was really new and it was organic and there were no ads and stuff like that. So really just, we grew it again based on customer feedback, hearing those conversations, finding out what was missing and what they needed. So yeah, the beginning of this roller coaster ride really just started with Bonita Afrobomb. And once we realized that there really was a need and a demand for what we were creating, we just leaned in and listened to what was missing.
Right. There was a time when, we were just selling the products in the salon. And then we were like, okay, so Maya built a website and we were like, we were going to launch this to the internet world, and, it's about to blow up, especially
What year was this? So our listeners know.
2012.
2012.
Okay.
By 2012, we were like, okay, we're going to launch this on the website. And, I don't know what I'm gonna tell my boss tomorrow, because I'm about to kick over trash cans, because I'm about to make these millions of dollars tonight, and we about to do this. So we press the enter button, and that day we sold 8 units.
Listen, that's better than nothing, right?
We did. Oh my gosh.
How did you feel though during that? Were you proud at least?
I felt okay. So you have to understand that we're motivated by different things. I mean, that's what makes us a collective. So I'm about the pretty, I'm about the creative, but number one, I'm about the efficacy of the product. So I knew I had a great product that did exactly what it said it would do, and it was cute. And I was proud of what I saw on the shelf. He's the numbers guy. He's the how do we make it make sense? We're still in the military with 5 kids. So he had a whole different experience that I was like, hey, I got the website. The website is cute. He was having a whole different moment because he was like
8 units. Who in here?
Like, do we still got money in that Air Max shoebox?
Oh, that part. And that was it. That was like it.
But then we were like, you know what? Let's manage our expectations. And let's dive into what we don't know, and let's learn from this from this experience. So like, I have this saying I tell Maya all the time. I said, only L's we take are lessons.
That is a quote right there. Only L's we take are lessons.
Yeah. Only L's we take are lessons. So let's come back, let's figure it out. And here we are today.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, the word got out that we actually had a website. Again, we were doing so much in the salon. You were
still overseas, right? At this point.
Yeah, we didn't know. We just figured this is around the time where the world was discovering that having a website wasn't enough. Like, you actually had to tell people that it was there. So we learned from that, and eventually things did pick up, and clearly I guess it worked out.
Right.
But I think that experience from the beginning taught us to never take anything for granted, and to never take our customer for granted. It doesn't matter how hot your product is, how good you think it is, you still have a duty and an obligation to really communicate with them and to stay locked in no matter, how great it is. So that was the first lesson. We call it the debacle at the beginning. Like, what happened? And again, I was thrilled. I was like, we did it. I did what I came to do. You need to make it work. And he was like, 8.
This is before we knew we had to have some marketing. We need to have advertising. We just thought you can have a website, and
listen, only L's are lessons. Only L's are lessons, right?
1 in 8. That's how many people have worked at McDonald's, and where some have continued their career. where graduates of McDonald's Career Online High School program are now role models leading the next generation. Where aunties, uncles, cousins, and communities learn skills they can use in every aspect of life.
Hi, and welcome to McDonald's.
1 in 8 have worked at McDonald's, and where you start stays with you.
Calling all heroes. Coca-Cola and Marvel are teaming up to release limited edition Coca-Cola products featuring your favorite Marvel characters. Collect them all to assemble your own Marvel universe. And be sure to scan your Coca-Cola for a chance to win superpower prizes and unlock powerful AR experiences. But act fast, fans. These collectibles won't last long. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the US and DC who are 13 and up. Ends on June 30th, 2024. Visit coke.com/Marvel24 for official rules. Hey Dream Drivers, you all know I've been doing this Mama 2 thing for a few months now, and luckily for me, I can say I've been a Pampers Swallows mama the entire time. It's a full-time job keeping baby happy and healthy, but with Pampers, you can rest assured that you have the diapers on the market for healthy baby skin. Your baby skin is delicate, so it needs extra care and protection. Pampers Swaddlers also absorbs wetness better versus leading value brand and provides up to 100% leak-proof skin protection to help keep your baby's skin dry and healthy. The fewer things I have to worry about, the better. To really double up on that, you guys must try the new Pampers Free and Gentle wipes for healthy baby skin. Free and Gentle cleans better than Huggies Natural Care. They're 5 times stronger to help prevent tearing during a diaper change. With Free and Gentle, mess meets its match. Pampers Swaddlers and Pampers Free and Gentle wipes are also dermatologist approved by the Skin Health Alliance, hyperallergenic, and free of parabens and latex. For trusted protection, trust Pampers, the #1 pediatrician recommended brand. Don't forget to download the Pampers Club app today and earn Pampers Cash. Redeem your Pampers Cash for exclusive Pampers coupons, savings, and rewards. What was a big challenge that you guys are facing? Because, we see you with all this growth now. You guys are part of Walmart's Black and Unlimited program. You're doing so much now, but an early lesson that you had to learn, right? Looking back at it now, a lesson that was horrible in the moment, but you guys have come back from it.
I would definitely say, well, first of all, shout out to Black and Unlimited.
Hey.
I would definitely say it. The pandemic was really a trip. I think as a consumer, we're used to hearing, slower shipping. And I don't think the rest of the world will ever grasp how difficult it was for anyone in consumer packaged goods, just finding pumps for foamers and, bottles and jars and simple things. Because, everyone that was, doing plastics was trying to accommodate hand sanitizer. So there was this season of maybe about a year where, we had to survive Black Friday and shipping was terrible. Packaging created, some out of stock issues for us. Like there were like major inventory issues, not because we couldn't, we were finally at a place where we could make more product, but we just could not get it produced because the whole world was so preoccupied with safety stuff. So, but again, like I mentioned before, the result of us, having that, this issue with inventory really pushed us to start to speak directly to our consumer. It was kind of a pivoting point. At this point, we really hadn't done a lot on e-commerce. But because everybody was stuck in the house, I started to get on live. I started to answer questions directly to my customers the way that I did when I was in the salon. So that adversarial situation, us kind of trying to figure things out as a business, helped us to reconnect with our customers in a way that we hadn't in a while. We really hadn't since we launched. So, I mean, like I said, it was
like a blessing and a curse. A curse and a blessing in the same way, right?
It always is. It always is. You can be on the struggle bus and still be, in the midst of your greatest blessing and have no idea that you're doing the both of them at the same time.
Right.
What kept you motivated during that time? Because a lot of people would have given up.
You know what? I felt like I had to ride out for everybody that wasn't doing so well. There are a lot of people that lost their businesses. A lot of people lost their lives. I was watching, kind of crisis after crisis. And I just felt like if we could get up and fight another day, then we should. And I also was really inspired by our customers. I was watching them try to figure it out. I was watching them send me DMs and videos like, is this how I do it? You know, my clients were like, Maya, girl, like, I know, like, you mean you're not coming back to the shop? Absolutely not. So the people around me, again, my community, these awesome people that I knew were kind of counting on me to help, kept us going. They kept us locked in. So even when the business part of this got really crazy, the interpersonal side of who we are was able to kind of kick in and keep people engaged and get, entertain them. Sometimes we laughed and cried together. So us kind of being that brand that connected with people on a more personal level because of our service background, really did, it saved the brand.
So I have a question. I know people listening might be, wait, you mentioned this earlier. You have 5 kids, right? And you guys are building this business. There's so much that you could have used as a hurdle, right? But it seems like you still were able to be successful. How did you balance it all? Right? You guys are trying to build something. What's the key to balance? I have 2. I have a 8-month-old and a 3-year-old, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I can't do nothing. I can't do it anymore, right? But you have 5. So just talk to us about the balance of parenting, because I think it's real, right? Anybody, we want to build businesses, but we also want to build families as well. Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We really don't see it in terms of balancing. I'm sure, that's what we're doing, but we just see it like, look, if I'm down, if I'm down, you got to come on up. If you're down, then I got to pick it up right then. And our thing is always just teamwork. I know, for us, it's really just about the teamwork and making sure that that we're looking out for each other. And
I think you don't balance the tasks, you kind of balance each other.
Right.
So is that your approach to even just how you balance running a business as a couple? Because I know even then, that's also a taboo topic. And it's something that I've discussed with past guests, but like, stop making this a taboo topic because you should be able to build businesses with your families, right? That's how a lot of these big corporations and these big companies have grown, is building with their families. Do you have any tips for others who are looking to build with their partners or other people, family members?
I think in a way, I don't really even believe in the balance conversation as much as I do priorities. I think you can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same doggone time. So for us, it's always about aligning our priorities, making sure that we're on the same page as far as what's important and keeping the main thing the main thing. And that is really the answer to your previous question as far as balance. That's really, I feel like, how we're able to do it looks like all the things. It looks like we're juggling, but what you're really seeing is 2 people just working together, putting things in order so that we're not overwhelmed or kind of swamped by what's happening.
We communicate to each other very well about what those priorities are and those shifts in the priority. Because, one day or 1 hour, 1 hour, it could be one thing. And we'd be like, okay, so we have to pivot, and, we got a sick kid at school we got to go get, so, okay, so how are we going to do that with the meetings today? So let's talk about it, and let's strategize, and let's work together to make sure all the things get done, but in order. And we try not to get stressed out about it, and put each other and stress each other about all the things that we have to do. Look.
Yeah, I think everybody has to have really clear roles. And I think I see a lot of entrepreneurial ventures, especially people that are couples, really struggle with the roles, like who's supposed to be doing what, gender roles, age roles, all these kind of things play into how well people work together. And I think really the magic, I think, for us is that we've known each other so long, us being friends since we were basically kids, kind of takes away the ego. So we all wash windows, we all sweep floors, we all, screw in light bulbs, whatever needs to be done is what we're doing. And I think us being clear on where our strengths and weaknesses are, but also being willing to tap in wherever we're needed is how it gets done.
Right.
What's your strength, Maya? And then what's your strength, Brian? Beyond the logistics and beyond the creative, right? Which we talked about before.
Okay, so how about this? I can tell you what his strengths are, and you can tell her
Oh
what.
yeah, I like that. I like that. Yes.
Brian is a very solid individual. He's a very stable person. So aside from just being friendly and fun and all those things, Brian is about integrity and principle. So he keeps everyone around him, especially me, really grounded and focused. He's very, very focused. He is the one who usually is able to draw down the priorities. Um, I think just being a guy with a lot of integrity and being able to lead, but in a way that's gentle and real, is his superpower.
Thank you, baby.
Now tell me a bunch of stuff
Mhm.
about myself. No, I'm just
Oh boy, you put the real pressure on.
This could be this. This is a love story, guys. I love it. I love it.
Look, Maya she's a genius, first of all. She's a
Oh.
genius. So
Mm.
um so the ideas and all the things that she comes up with that's her superpower. And she is super when she wasn't lying when she was talking about she's concentrated on the service of the business. Like she wants to make sure that what we create is something that is useful and the consumer, our customer, can actually use and see a value from. So she's always concentrating on, does this work, and will it be received well, and all of those things. But she's very in tune with making sure that we're serving our customer to the fullest of our ability.
Tell me more. Thank you.
I'm sure there's a lot more, but but I think that's one of the things that that a lot of people don't know about Maya. She is really focused in not on herself. That's why you don't see us talking about the things that we have. We're talking about what we want to do for everyone else.
I love that. You'll know real when you get it. It'll say eBay Authenticity Guarantee, and you'll feel it. Maybe it's a head-turning handbag, a watch that says it all, jewelry that makes you look like the gem, sneakers and streetwear so fresh every step feels fly. eBay gets it. So look for the blue check mark next to that thing you love and be confident that every inch, stitch, sole, and logo is checked by experts. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that feeling of real is always in reach. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. So Dream Drivers, you cannot claim to know good flavor if you are not claiming the McCrispy as your go-to chicken sandwich. 2 butter buns stacked with pickles and crispy, juicy, tender chicken. And listen, I'm a pickle person. So when I show up for the McCrispy, it's all about the pickle game. When that crispy chicken and crispy pickle come together between those 2 butter buns, I'm just in heaven. And you know how you can smell when your food's about to be good? That's me every time I pull out the Mickey D's drive-thru with that McCrispy. I don't think I've ever even made it home from the drive-thru without taking a bite of that fresh McCrispy, because once I smell it, I gotta have it right there in the car. So don't even try to have a conversation with me. You could try, but right now this crispy, juicy, tender chicken is my only priority. Guess the word is out. Go get yours today. Did y'all know there's a whole collection of Black-led products that fit into your daily routine and lifestyle that you can get at Walmart? And it's so important that we show Black founders some love, not just during Black History Month, but all year long. Because every time we buy a Black-led brand, we're making room or creating demand for another Black-led brand. Black founders and the products they bring to the table are creating a whole new world of choices at Walmart. Some of the products I want to check out are Creamalicious Ice Cream, Partake Cookies, the Lip Bar, Midwest Kids, and the Doux Haircare. Go to walmart.com/Black and Unlimited to discover all the amazing Black-owned products that you can add to your daily routine. So let's transition a little bit to talking about growth, right? You guys are part of Walmart's Black and Unlimited program, which is just a phenomenal program where Walmart is really highlighting products Black-led, Black-founded. How has that impacted the Doux growth, right? And how has it really allowed you guys to reach more customers and expand your mission and vision for the brand?
I mean, we it's hard. Where do I start? How much time you got? I mean, Our partnership with Walmart is really important to us because it's always been like our thing to be where our girl is. I want to show up in your everyday experience. I don't want you to have to pick or choose where you're finding the products. And it's been really good for the brand because our girl is getting what she needs when she needs it, and our products are accessible. We've lived all over the world, but also all over the country. And we know that there are a lot of places where where good hair care products, especially products that with a salon background, a professional product, is really hard to find just in your everyday walk of life. So having products in Walmart has been really important to us because we wanted accessibility is super, super important to us. And our customer being able to have that salon experience at home, no matter where she lives, is part of our experience as a military family. Just being caught out there and not knowing what to do with your hair, you don't have what you need for your hair. So I've really enjoyed all of the feedback we've gotten, even from some of our clients that, were in Germany with us and have returned to the States. People just being planted in all of these different military bases and cities that they're unfamiliar with, being able to say, hey, I've been looking everywhere and I found your products at Walmart.
And from a flip side, like, how has it really helped grown the business, right? Because I know beyond, like, they have their own, like, there's a website, there's like the things in the actual stores, but how have you guys seen from a business and the results of this partnership?
Well, we can from look, it's been an amazing partnership. I think that it's great to know that Walmart has had our back in the way that they have. They've helped us, send the message out that, look, these awesome products are available, and that's been one of the hurdles that we've had as a company is getting our message out and letting and making our products readily available to everybody. So it's
the distribution side of this has definitely improved. When you're speaking of growth, if that's what you mean, just being able to be in more places at one time has really transformed even the way that our day-to-day business operates. And so I think our partnership with Walmart is one of the many things that has grown our little business into a real company. And I think that's one of the things that we're most proud of is that we've been able also, other people have watched us, but from the inside, growing in distribution, being seen in more places is an advantage that we've got by being a part of this partnership.
Right. And we're Walmart shoppers ourselves, like no cap. But we're Walmart shoppers ourselves. So anytime we're in the store, it's always it's crazy to see that our products are sitting right there.
Whenever we go, Brian beelines it right to the hair.
Like, are they there? Are they there?
I do. And I'm like, I'm in my pajamas like everybody. Like, why are we going straight to the hair care aisle?
Yeah, I just have to go see it.
He has to go. It's the first place that we go is straight to the hair care aisle.
Yeah.
And I think that whole idea about growth also just can kind of be related to also scaling and outside of the beauty products industry, right? Any business, if you're a dream driver, you want to scale it, you want to grow it. What are some key things that you would tell dream drivers about what they need to be doing if they want to scale their business, especially in a competitive market? Because as you guys know, beauty is hot right now, right? It seems like everybody wants to have a beauty product. So what tips would you give that person?
I think the textbook advice is, a whole bunch of stuff about numbers and the metrics, like the business of beauty. But I think for us, we don't think about it in that way. And I know that there's an answer, right? There's the answer, like that's
no, it's your answer. That's the only answer that matters.
For me, it really is about making sure that my stuff is the best that it can be. I truly, genuinely believe that if we're really intentional about what we're putting in these bottles and jars, the story will tell itself. The product will sell itself. When it comes to scaling and growing, if you're really, really focused on making the very best product and connecting with the people that you're serving through that product, it's gonna do what it do. I mean, I could say that, you know, we need to focus on numbers and do a lot of research and own your formulas. All of those things are important, right? Being able to understand the business, the backside of beauty. But I would like to say that as an entrepreneur, I consider myself more of a creative. I don't even like to use the term entrepreneur. I'm smart enough to get people that are smarter than me. I have no interest in, you know, a lot of the numbers and the data and the metrics and all that. I keep my head down and I focus on my girl and focus on my formulas and focus on the efficacy of my products. And I hire people, I bring people in, you know, on my team that are experts in, you know, the sales and the marketing side and the numbers and the accounting. Like that is not what we do. We are makers at heart. And what I didn't say about Brian, there's another one of his superpowers. He's a very creative person as well. Brian's been our photographer since we started. So a lot of the visuals that you see are all, you know, our videos. Brian recorded those videos. So the things that we like to do is more on the communication and the community facing side of the brand. And I think the smartest thing that you can do if you're an entrepreneur is find people that are excellent at what they do. Don't mess around jumping in your lane, trying to do nothing. That's how you scale to me. That's how you grow the brand is to get really, really clear on what it is that you don't do and find someone that you can trust to master that and run that for you.
Right.
Let me tell you guys a quick story. I think this all relates. So I tried the mousse def for the first time, right? Did a twist out, followed the toe method. I did it last week. It was phenomenal, right? And I'm just thinking, how did they make this product that just seems to do everything, right? Defines, moisturizes, everything. I then used it on my 8-month-old. I'm like, let me put some of this in his twist real quick, right? And then my 3-year-old, I used it on his twist. So the whole family has used the product. So number one, it shows how you guys really focusing in on the quality matters, right? And now look, if they could buy things, they would be buying the product too, right? But my question is, the formula is so important. How did you go about finding the right person to make the right formula? Because that seems to be like the key ingredient or part of the process, especially for this product.
So back to what I was saying, that's not what I do. I am not a chemist. But I am the product developer. So every product that you see, everything that you touch from the Doux is something that I personally developed. It's not something that I sent to somebody else to develop for me. It's not an idea that someone else gave me
So you're a
because
scientist too, Maya?
I'm not a scientist. I'm again smart enough to find a group of chemists. We have partners all over the country that actually formulate, but they do it based on my requests, my ideas, my specifications, and I'm the one who actually develops the products. We partner where I test them out. So the way that this works is somebody who understands the formulaic part of it, the math, the science of it, actually develops them based on what I have requested, what I want to bring to the market. But I'm the person that approves every formula. I use all of these formulas on my clients. I test them in my community. And so I think the thing that's really different about the Doux from most brands, even in our category, is that there's a person that is the same person that founded the brand is actually personally developing every single product. There's not one thing on the shelf that I don't personally use in the salon or on myself. And that I did not go through, you know, several renditions of approval until it was perfect. So the answer to your question, the way that we're able to formulate, the way that we're, you know, our R&D or research and development process is very in-house. It's very hands-on. It's very personal. It's not something that we outsource.
Okay. Now that's
how did you come up with the mousse def formula?
So Mousse Def was, I mean, to answer your question, it was in direct response to our consumer or our customer. My clients were military and they were running every morning and they needed their hair to be washed, restyled, and dry by the time they got to work. And the products that were available were really greasy, oily. They didn't dry in enough time. And it was just this strenuous process. So I said, look, I went to a chemist. I was like, check this out. I need this to dry in 30 under 30 minutes under the dryer. It can't be crunchy and it cannot flake. I
Not
gave
crunchy, y'all.
this can't be in it.
2 weeks later.
Right. And so that's basically the way that it works. So Mousse Def is the first of his class. It's not the first, obviously not the first mousse ever, but is the first one product that you didn't have to mix gel and mousse and butter and custard. There was not this butter custard jelly pudding concoction that had to be made to define curls. It's a perfect example. It's probably the best example of innovation. And I think that kind of innovation comes from being behind the chair. It can only come from day after day after day working with a bunch of different textures of hair.
Yeah, I think that's what your experience as a stylist, right? Like this is like, you know, everything, you've seen everything. And I think it's like taking your gift and letting your gift work for you. I think there's so many of us who have these innate gifts and are not really pushing it to the max, right? Aren't really thinking about how can my gift make a life for me? So your story to me is an example of how can my gift, how can my partnership, how can my life, right? How can the things I love really help me put my dreams in drive? So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yes. So let's take a trip. We're going down the mountain now. I mean, not the mountain, roller coaster. We're on a roller coaster, right? And we're looking beyond. We're looking what's next. What are you guys excited about? Brian, talk to me about the things that really are exciting you. And then Maya, yeah, tell us where we're going next.
Of course, we have more products on the way. We got some really cool things coming up, and we're super excited about it. But one of the things that both Maya and I are both passionate about is lifestyle. So you'll be seeing some things from us in the lifestyle realm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Bit of
it's a
teaser, but you
A little
know,
teaser. And if you want to be, well, were you going to say anything else, Maya? I'm sorry. Just want
I think I'm excited about leaning in more to my community, the stylist
Okay.
community. We kind of almost did it backwards, even though I am a stylist. Our products started really in mass retail because I didn't see any salon quality products for textured hair in those spaces. And I felt like the stylist voice belonged there. So I chose to go there first instead of, going into like salon wholesale or salon exclusive. But I think, moving forward where we are is kind of backtracking and, connecting more with professional stylists, and really supporting them and also, bringing them into, your Walmart stores to see the thing, to try a lot of the products that we have and get familiar with them, because what we know as stylists is that you have to have products in these spaces to recommend, because everybody can't be in the salon every week. The world is changing, right? So I'm really excited to connect more with people who have my background and to educate both, our everyday customers and our stylists. The education piece is really important for us.
It's a movement, right? It's not a product. If someone told me that, like, think of your company as like it's a movement, right? It's a platform. It's a vehicle for change. Um, if you want to be dream drivers, both of you have to have your keys to success, right? So I'll make it easy. Brian and Maya, each of you, I want you to tell me 2 things that you think every dream driver needs in their toolkit before they hit the road.
for me, that's easy for me because my experience in the Air Force, and I'm a I'm third generation Air Force family.
Thank
My
you for your service.
Thank you. I got kids in the Air Force right now. They're fourth generation, and we all do the Air Force. And they're one of the well, not one, the 3 core values that I learned while being in the Air Force, and I also teach to my kids, and we use in our business is integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. So
Okay.
for me, those 3 core values that's it.
And for you, Maya?
I think it's kind of the same. We're really unified in
Yeah.
that way. It's something that because of the life that we've lived together, we've kind of done unconsciously. And like he said, it's how we run our business and what we instill in the kids. I think the thing that I would add is steadfastness and focus. For us, like just not quitting is a big thing. I know it sounds super cliche and people are like, don't give up, but so much of those kind of cliche, phrases really they do resonate because the reason why I believe we're still here is because without knowing what was coming, without knowing whether we make it or not, we just stuck with it. So much of being a business that is able to thrive, that's still here later when everybody else around you is either struggling or gone, has to do with betting on yourself and continuing taking the risk when no one else will, and being comfortable with the idea that even if it doesn't work out, it's still working.
Right.
I love that. And it's funny because I was going to ask you, what would you say to that dream driver? Because of a lot of our listeners, right? I always thought people were, in park or trying to get to drive. But a lot of people tell me they actually feel stuck in reverse or stuck in neutral, right? Like
Hmm.
they don't really know where they are. What would you tell that person how to get out of neutral? Because if you want to be a dream driver, the goal is to get into drive, right?
There's nothing wrong with reverse, first of all. Sometimes reverse is the greatest blessing. I think I see being stuck in neutral is more of a threat than anything. And what puts you in neutral is just indecision. I believe that indecision is a decision. It's something I struggle with every day because in this effort, and I don't think the indecision or being stuck in neutral is really about not wanting to do anything. I think as creatives and entrepreneurs, you can get stuck in perfectionism that keeps you from moving because you don't want to make a mistake. So I would say if you feel like you're slowing down or you think you're doing everything that you could be doing, but you're kind of stuck, if you take a step back and really evaluate where you are, 9 times out of 10, you're not making some really crucial decisions because you're afraid to make a mistake. And to me, that's why I say reverse isn't as much of a threat. If I make a mistake, the worst that could happen is that I have to take a step back and get smarter, but at least I'm moving.
Right.
If I'm
Exactly.
afraid because I don't want to mess up, then I'm stagnant. It's the tortoise in the hare. Now everyone with the next bright idea is passing you up. And I rather take a step back and get smarter than sit there and watch watch not really other people, but the industry move without me. And I know that I had something really valuable to bring to the market that never saw the light of day because I was afraid. So no
Thank you.
fear, having no fear is really the way to get unstuck. It's just to move and be okay with it not turning out exactly how you planned.
Yeah, we deal with that all the time. But we have a saying, we double down on dope ideas all the time.
Yeah.
And we just got to keep moving and we bet on ourselves.
Yeah. You can't be half in. You have to be 10 toes down.
That was actually the first episode of my podcast back in 2016. Choose you, bet on yourself, right? Like coming
Yeah.
full circle. It's always going to be. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you so much, Maya. This has been such an amazing conversation, and I know our dream drivers have enjoyed it as much as I have. I
Absolutely.
love that room, right? What kind of car we in, guys?
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This
All
was
right. Thank you. All right, so that's a wrap for this episode of Dreams and Drive. I hope you enjoyed our guests' dream driving journey as well as listening to their keys to success. If you love this episode, you know what to do. Please make sure that you are following us. We are at Dreams and Drive across social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So make sure you're sharing this episode, posting it to your Instagram stories, texting it to a friend, sharing on LinkedIn, wherever you are or online. just pay this forward and share this with somebody. We really appreciate it. And all the sharing that you do helps us grow our community. If you want to join our email newsletter, The Keys, and get weekly updates delivered to your inbox, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/join. That's dreamsanddrive.com/join. And lastly, if you know somebody who would be great for this show, or if you are someone who would be great for this show, please go to dreamsanddrive.com/pitch. I'm always accepting new guests. I'm always accepting new pitches. So I love to see those pitch requests coming in. Keep dreaming, keep driving, and we'll chat again in the next episode. Bye, guys.